Hello, hello. We're waiting for all the different sites to come up. Gonna check on that to see if they're gonna be there or what's gonna happen. Hello, we are live. Okay, yeah. Looks like it's actually working. So that's a good thing. And we're actually co-streaming on Robert Durden, and we're actually co-streaming on Be the Change tonight, which is really cool. Diddly doo, diddly doo, diddly doo. Say hello to Bird and Reef. What's up? Going on? Where's your nameplate? Oh, you don't have a name badge. Wait, everybody already knows who the hell you are anyway. We don't need no stinking nameplate. Nice. Oh. Yeah, and this thing's in the chat. His links are in the chat too. The link tree. So Reese got that set up now. So hi everybody. How did we miss that? Welcome everybody to How Did We Miss That? And is anybody in chat? No, nope. Why is the restream chat working? Got anybody live in chat yet? Yeah, I guess it's gonna take a few minutes to get the thing live, and I know there were a bunch of people that were waiting or coming to hang out. So, hi everybody, and so welcome everybody to How Did We Miss That? How Did We Miss That is a show airing on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, and Odyssey every Saturday night at midnight Eastern Time, 9 Pacific, reviewing a few big stories we hadn't seen covered much in left independent media space. Co-hosted by me, Indy, founder and editor of Independent Left.News and Leftist.Today. And this guy to my left, right, whatever side you're on, that's Reef Breland. He's the creator of the Jimmy Dore Discord and host of the new show Reefer After Dark. And everybody go check that out. Links in the chat are in the description. All the stories that... Hey, Misty. Yeah, Mindy, exactly. Hi, Mindy. So all the stories that you're going to see tonight were featured in our Substack, Leftist.Today, and at the top of Independent Left.News this week. Just my little spiel talking about the sites Independent Left News, IndependentLeft.gg, which is our Discord, and Leftist.Today are your number one source for left-leaning political news, videos, podcasts, articles, insight, and opinion, showcasing left-leaning independent media free from advertiser influence. I also wanted to give special shout outs and thank yous to our Patreons and Ko-fi supporters. We've got Eric T, who's probably here somewhere in the chat. Hi, Eric. Hey, Lila, you're in the chat. Hi, Lila. Fanto. Luigi's hanging out in Twitch. Hi, what's up, Luigi? Verdant Square, Jersey Green. Kendra Wade. Hi, how are you? Welcome, everybody. Restream chat's acting a little funny, it looks like. Taking a little bit. But again, wanted to shout out to the patrons and Ko-fi supporters. So we got Eric T, we've got Richard, we've got Nikki, Radical Leftist Agenda. She's probably here somewhere. Les Bones, love him. Noli D hooked us up earlier this month. Love Noli, INN family member. And we had a new Ko-fi member this week, our new patron, Richard M, signed up for Independent Left News. Thank you so much for that. And then Lady Dragonfly Robin During. We love Robin. So she hooked us up with a Ko-fi also. Appreciate that. Wanted to also shout out our volunteers, Nicole and Darlene, who do our, and now also Stephanie, who do our Facebook and Instagram posting every day for Indie Left. Warren, War Deer Entertainment, and Extra Booyah for clipping the show every week and allowing us to have clips put out. Also wanted to give a special shout out and some love to my friend Mona Carmona, who I know she was in the hospital last week, so she's amazing. Love her. Afeni also, I know she posted something today, so just want to send out some love to Afeni. And Chris over at uncensorednews.us. Check that site out. He does something a little bit similar to what Independent Left does. He's an aggregator and a curator of news. focused heavily on environmental issues. Also want to say hi to Nay at Nay's Garden, and last but not least, say shout out the INN network, Indie News Network, indienews.network if you haven't seen it yet. Also wanted to mention that the podcast is now up to date. We're up to the most recent episode, so we should have all them up there with thumbnails and all the description and everything. And that's the audio version of this show. So you can head over to anchor.fm/independent left news and you can subscribe, or you can find us on Spotify. And wow, that's a mouthful. I know. Sorry, everybody. I know I talk a lot. And I'm going to be talking a lot tonight. And I don't think that we set a Google timer. We're already 6 minutes in, but I think you're ahead of me, and the smoke machine is already doing its work. I don't know if that's you or the actual graphic, but that's cool. Did something a little bit different tonight. Not just gonna show you the whole story, but instead going to do what most shows do and actually just show clips of articles, and I pulled out the important parts, or the parts that I thought were most important. I read them. Yeah, I sure did. So let's switch over to Indie Main, and you can see our first article is from, oh boy, why is, oh, here, is from RT. And the theme, the first theme tonight is inconvenient reporting via RT. All right. So we've got, the first thing is from Kit Clarenberg, who has been killing it lately. This guy, man, I don't know how he's been getting his sources. He had that incredible investigative report on Assange from Australia and what had been going on over there. So he published this piece in RT. Leaked doc reveals which messengers send the most data to the FBI. Isn't this nice? So, got here. Oh, there we go. Now it goes. I was just trying to hit the arrow. An internal report, right, reveals how WhatsApp and iMessage are happily handing over users' data to the feds, sometimes providing the source and destination of messages every 15 minutes. I guess that's okay. Good to know. Definitely good. Right? Well, so the sensitive FBI paper unearthed by the transparency group Property of the People, and thank you for that, whoever they are, spells out in concise yet shocking detail the Bureau's ability to secure messaging app content and associated metadata via warrants and subpoenas, and shows what WhatsApp and Apple's iMessage turn over the most information to authorities. Isn't that wonderful to know? All right. And he says, so in any event, WhatsApp messages can be accessed by the Bureau if that user is using an iPhone and has enabled iCloud backup. And most people, I think, have. I know I have. This is facilitated by Apple maintaining a policy of turning over iCloud encryption keys in response to FBI warrants, which also grant agency access to iMessage. Great. Right. So yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks for that. So this is an important thing. I don't know how this guy got access to the he's writing up the FBI data. I really hadn't seen this too many other places. Interesting that it took somebody at RT across the world to break it. So Interestingly, there are some other messaging apps that you can use that are a little bit more secure. Again, investigators can access certain information on users of Signal. Okay, much vaunted by privacy advocates, despite being developed with U.S. government funding, including date, time users registered, and the last time they were active. But Telegram's strict policy of not cooperating with court orders, apart from confirmed terrorist investigations, in which the app may disclose the IP addresses and phone numbers to relevant authorities, is also noted in the report. Oh, wow, everybody lost sound for a minute. That's great. Sorry to hear that. What is happening, audio? Sound. It says Indie Mike Live is bouncing, and I see my bird moving. So hopefully we have sound. And hopefully you can read whatever's on the screen. Okay, we're back. Thank you, darling. So what's Facebook, who owns WhatsApp, doing? Well, they arguably already act as an effective arm of the U.S. state power, or at least subordinate to it. In 2020, it complied with 89% of requests from Washington for user data. So the Threat Intelligence Division, from which Frances Haugen, that's the Facebook quote-unquote whistleblower, is a veritable den of spies, counting numerous former CIA, NSA operatives among its staff. Right? So, grief is silent. Weird.
Hear me now, hopefully, right?
Yeah, maybe.
On your Stream Deck, there should be a thing that says Zoom and / Discord.
Yep. I think I got it.
Cool.
I think we might got it now.
La 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 la.
Okay. All right. Well, Reef hasn't said very much anyway. You haven't missed much.
I just wanted to make sure everyone could hear me now. Just everyone can hear.
It's me doing the talking most of the time anyway. So, yes. Somebody in chat asked if Reef is a ventriloquist. Yes, Reef's the ventriloquist, apparently. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's my bad. And one of these days we'll actually have Reef run the stream because he's much better at it than me. And
don't worry about it, man. Like, dude, I have the same problems on my stream. I'm like, what did I press all the buttons? I think.
Nice.
Like, so
hello everybody. And that sucks because now we might have to go back and redo all right, now
that's okay.
We'll just clip it out.
We're not gonna do it. Well, let's summarize what we just had, right? So essentially, like, we've gotten, iMessage and WhatsApp, right, have been now caught giving information to FBI, and they've complied with 89% of Washington's requests for user data. No?
Yep.
Right, that's pretty much it.
Thanks
and then
we're
that. Here.
We're pretty much here. Yep. And the Telegram and Signal don't send as much to the FBI, so use those apps, basically. Yep. All right, so again, then you have this Frances Haugen. She's the Facebook whistleblower, quote unquote, and several of these individuals have contributed to the ongoing wall of negativity surrounding end-to-end encryption because they can't break into it and listen. Right?
Yeah.
So that's about all I've got from that. Unfortunately, there's not a conclusion other than they're still listening. So get yourself onto some don't put anything
Telegram.
Really.
Yeah, always expect that they're listening to you at this point for the most part. Like,
and what's really funny and sad is that somebody I heard, or I was reading an article the other day, and it referenced Telegram as a right-wing app. It's an app.
Yeah, like it's what? Yeah, like the app is going to like what? Anyway.
Yes, the app is a member of the NRA. And so
all the app's code is like double negatives. Just like, I ain't never gonna do that compile. Like, just like.
Now the thing is that I will give, there does have to be a warrant issued, and there has to be some kind of legal justification beforehand, quote unquote. course, Edward Snowden indicated that NSA agents and other people do otherwise, and who knows.
Right.
But I try to use secure peer-to-peer apps as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
After the stream's over, I will put in the description all the links to all of the articles, like this Kate Clarenberg article and our
You could
next
just
article.
copy that link right now and pop it in the
Yeah,
restream chat.
yeah, we can do that too. But
Yep.
then they might leave my stream and go and read the
Oh,
article.
and go read
We
it.
don't. We don't.
Just have two monitors. Like if you're on Windows, you can like side by side it. You can do
Oh
some
wait,
like multi
that only go
apping.
to everybody. Yeah.
What everyone needs to do is just put our stream on every device that they have all at once. You
Oh,
know,
it's
and just
really funny, but just
right.
like on Twitter, this stream is the person who
Mhm.
wrote the next article.
Nice.
INN family member Tara Reid, and this one was
Tara!
really tough to read.
Yeah.
Tough to read. Oh my god, how did I never put that one together? That's terrible dad joke.
Yep.
Literally, it was just liked by Tara on Twitter, and hi Tara, and how you doing? Love you. Let me
Love
move
you
you a little bit
too.
higher so you don't see stuff. Hopefully,
Oh, you broke it.
that I broke. We're gonna leave it right there. Perfect. Okay, so Tara Reid, the shaming of sexual assault whistleblowers has to stop, and that is about as obvious as you can get, of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
And this is in the wake of the Andrew Cuomo revelations and the investigation that has come out, and she's going to get into a little bit of that here. And I clipped
And
out.
part of this is because of her book, which if people haven't went and found it, Left Out When the Truth Doesn't Fit In, should go find that. Go follow her Twitter, all that fun stuff, because she needs it. So, you know,
And follow her on
um,
Substack as well. Give her a
definitely do
shout
that.
out and a sub on Substack, and you can actually like hook her up with a $5 a month thing on Substack if you're so
Yeah.
inclined, and you can hook her up.
Yeah.
So she wrote this op-ed for RT, and they have picked her up. She indicated for the next few articles that she is going to be publishing, and she's also going to be co-publishing this on Indie News Network Substack, and going to be doing an audio
Nice.
reading of this for the INN. So what she's talking about is victim shaming the women who speak out against committing sexual harassment.
Right.
Which is now all too common. She's saying in the U.S., it signifies diabolical intent to protect powerful predators at the expense of truth, right?
Yep.
So when Amy Frank decided to become a whistleblower on sexual assault and sexual harassment in the United States military, so she had Amy on her podcast, and you'll
Mm.
see this. She'll reference this later on. Her new
Yep.
podcast for RT, The Politics of Survival. Definitely subscribe to that on Spotify and everywhere else that you podcast. So she realized it meant that she could possibly lose her career due to retaliation that regularly faces those who challenge and expose a broken system. So this tells a much longer story. Again, I encourage everybody to go to the RT piece. And again, we'll be co-publishing this onto the INN Substack within the next couple of days. That
Yep.
she created this, that Amy Frank created a nonprofit, Never Alone, to help soldiers and their families access resources and advocacy. Right? She cites one case where a victim took her own life, and after 9 special forces officers gang raped her, and nothing was investigated. According to Frank, the pervasiveness of sexual assault and domestic violence in the military ensure that Never Alone is a much needed resource. And I know that Amy and Clara just did a Twitter Spaces audio thing the other day, and Twitter flagged it. So we're gonna have to get that up on the INN Substack as well, and put that out in another place. So again, going through this, and so she said that as a survivor, she was determined to speak up for young soldiers, right? And cases included domestic violence as well as sexual assault, and some resulted in suicide by the victim, murder, and unexplained deaths. It's terrible. And
Yeah. And I'm
yeah,
sure cover-ups from MPs and yeah. One in
so
what was that? What was that up above that? 1 in 4 women in the military will be sexually assaulted, Frank says.
yep,
Jesus.
yeah,
Over 30,000 kill themselves since 9/11.
yeah. There is no
Jesus
data
Christ.
how many are related to sexual assault. However, that's just how many women have. Because I
Yeah.
mean, you think about the 22 soldiers, some of those are going to be
Yeah.
women. So talking about that, as Frank's story demonstrates, it's not as easy to be a whistleblower, to be a whistleblower in any situation, especially in institutions with embedded misogyny, as we've seen in the case of Andrew Cuomo. And finding the truth was not necessarily at the top of the agenda,
Yeah.
right? So again, um, Amy also has encountered Times Up legal defense. I think I missed there's a graphic that got lost in there, but really they're talking about how Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, released details of the criminal investigation into behavior toward his staff with startling and damning results. So, in one exchange between upper level staff, it was discussed how to shame a victim publicly, referring to both Lindsay Boylan and Charlotte Bennett, the people who have credibly accused homosexual conduct, by
Hmm.
employing the same tactics that Joe Biden used against our friend Tara Reid during his campaign. So now it's
Yeah.
considered a playbook. So it's to discredit, shame survivors into silence, and
Mm.
they're made into inhuman objects of ridicule, shield the powerful predator from being exposed with his sexual conduct, and the intention is to destroy and meet survivors. Which,
Well, and these actions by these powerful people speak to what they do elsewhere, right? Like, the lack of empathy and power control and stuff like that only like
this
is a
thing, no,
part of that
this is
is
the
a
thing about
part of that psyche decision making, right? Like,
yeah, yeah. There's
it comes with
actually
the territory of, what do they call those? Like, what are half those CEOs said to be? Like sociopaths, right? Like, but yeah, this is, for one, the numbers on this are pretty staggering. What was it? 3 out of 4, right? Like, I think it's Bill Burr who talks about, if you want, if someone handed you a parachute and said 3 out of 4 times it's not going to work, are you going to jump out the plane?
right
Like, yeah.
when
So
it's the only way out of your situation. They don't tell you that before you sign the paper.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's just sickening. Like, as a man who has no idea how men can be put in this headspace to do anything like that, it's just real frustrating.
yeah.
Like, and you wish you could do something more than what you can, you know.
Yeah.
So,
So I also want to mention Tara, one other paragraph before this one, that Amy also has the experience of the problems of dealing with the Times Up Legal Defense Fund, which
mm,
has of course
yeah,
receiving
that
an
was all.
attorney who then dropped her 2 weeks
Yeah.
before her rebuttal hearing. So she was left with a complicated legal case and potentially no representation to face the USIG, but resourcefully found a new attorney and is now waiting to see if Times Up will come through with the funding that it promised. Yeah, come on. Are they going to?
And it feels
I
like
I'm not going to hold my breath.
there's too many predators interconnected at the top levels of our society. Like, that there's a lot of ignoring, and like even Tucker was defending Cuomo. Like, you know,
Yeah,
I don't know how he feels about it now, but but like all the stuff that happened over at Fox, right? Like, he's not going to say anything about that when he was working there either. Like, there's definitely some stuff going on there, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Even now they're threatening Amy Frank's credentials as a support counselor for victims. Absolutely crazy. There's no doubt that that's what
Yeah,
she does. But when
yeah,
she says things that are inconvenient, again, this is a much longer article. I encourage everybody, please, to go to the RT, to go to RT, and I'll again drop it in the chat. And after the stream, I'll drop it into the description. But here, take a look at that. Give it a like. Uh, give it a comment below. She has gotten trolled quite a bit by some people that have not
yeah.
always uh,
Well,
appreciated
I am
her
surprised that
perspective.
this is what gets Cuomo fired, not like any of the actual actions of, you know what I'm saying, like this is what gets this scandal is what gets the Cuomos out of, like, you know what I mean. So like, as opposed to killing the elderly, like any, you know what I'm saying, like any of that stuff, as far as like insurance fraud, none of that, that's all fine.
Right.
Like, but yeah, it's like good. I'm glad that this is coming out, and whatever. So, but anyway,
Anyway.
I saw Tommy Nation in the chat.
Yeah,
Shout
Tommy
out to Tommy
Nation.
Nation
Yeah, yeah.
over there.
Actually, you're competing with us. What do you mean,
Well,
man? We do a Saturday night the 14
we did
episodes.
deliberately look at his schedule and like decided to, like,
Yeah,
you know
midnight Saturday. Yep.
to do this. Yeah, so
Come on, man.
love you though.
Come on, brother. I love you. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah,
Nicole, hi, how are you? ZXCVBNM. Is that like an eye chart or something? That's what it looks like to me when I see that.
no, it's Zvexbunum.
Vexa.
Zvexbunum.
Cuomo
Yeah,
got 4 million. Okay, so let's see. Cuomo's actions caused the death of 15,000 plus elderly. Yes, absolutely. Well,
yeah,
is it more important? Sure.
yeah.
There's a lot of people
It
that have a lot
also
of things to say
speaks to the
about that.
character. Yeah, like,
Um,
I get that the media is willing to, like, overhype this and not. Yeah, exactly. Like, just what I said, right? Like,
but the point is the
you know,
power dynamic that's happening in a governor's
yeah,
office, with over younger
yeah.
women, powerless. I mean, it's
But
and
Indy,
then
he's Italian.
right.
He's
So
Italian.
yeah,
Everyone knows Italians are
it
abusers. What do you
it's easy to
mean?
say that. It's easy to say that stuff like when it's not
I know.
you and
It's
not your
yeah,
family and it's not your um somebody
yeah.
who's close to you that really had aspirations at a job and went to work to actually work and got something that they did not want from somebody that they might have respected and that had a lot more power than they did. So yeah.
Wardier in the chat. What's up? What's up, Warren?
Ah.
Uncle Warren. Everyone should go watch his stuff.
Warren.
He had JB on. They talked about like the Willy Wonka weed stuff. It was great.
Uh,
It was great. I now want to watch that movie. I want to
I
watch the
need to
stoner
watch it
version of
again.
Willy Wonka.
I want to watch that again.
Yeah.
That is going to be my first extra booyah rewatch. Is
Rewatch. You're just
JB.
gonna have it on loop.
Yep. I'm going to rewatch that one.
Anyway,
So I got another
since
story
Warren wants
here.
his stories, yeah, like
Stories. So our next
the
stories. Corporate whitewashing all for profit. That's just beautiful. Not a beautiful
Mm,
thing, but from our friends over at the World Socialist website, U.S. corporate profits hit a new record. Isn't that wonderful? JB had that weed
yeah,
movie idea on point. Yes, he did.
dude, I'll be on it. Let's get it done. I'm
Oh,
down.
and Reeves got the idea for the weed resort, and I'm down for that. We need to
Yep,
invest in that.
yep, yes, sir.
So just to
Corporate
show
profits
how
hits new record. This is from Shannon Jones, right?
yeah, just to show how ridiculous things are out there. And again, you can see it's a much longer article in WSWS from December 1st. Definitely go check that out. Give them a follow. Again, very simply, U.S. corporations enjoyed the widest profit margins for more than 70 years during the second and third quarters of 2021. Now, this is not like pandemic induced when the government is kicking in $6 trillion thanks to the CARES Act. This is the result of the kind of the aftermath of the CARES Act. This is wow. Widest profit margins in more than 70 years, but yet wages are relatively stagnant. They're not really doing
Stagnant.
much for
I mean,
anybody.
and unemployment through the roof. Like, yep.
Well, unemployment I think is actually low as a percentage, but there's tons of people out of the
Right, but that's
workforce, and
documented. Yep.
right, the average wage isn't a living wage. So,
Right. There's a worker shortage and all that stuff, apparently, except no one has a job.
right,
Yeah.
so it's fueled in large part by the government's mass injection of cash into the economy. Well, there was the child tax credit. There was the $1,400. Thanks for the $2,000, Joe Biden. There was the welcome Tara Reid. I just got a notification on Twitter. Hi Tara. So there
Howdy,
was
howdy.
the $1,400. There was the child tax credit. So they have been pumping some cash into the economy this year. Okay, so you can see the non-financial profits increased 67.5 billion in the third quarter. Again, profits are up 39.6% in just the second and third quarters of this year. In dollar terms, the annual increase in profits since before the start of the pandemic has been over 500 billion. It's just stunning the kind of numbers that we're talking about here, and it's all on the back of the American people and with our hard work and sweat, and we're not getting the raises and we're not getting the bonuses and we're not getting it's all going upwards, unfortunately. So again, profit margins are at their highest level since 1950. Nearly 2/3 of publicly traded U.S. corporations have reported higher profit margins this year compared to last, and 100 of the largest have booked profit margins at least 50% above last year's level. I mean, this is again using inflation, and I think I published something earlier this week in Leftist Today, how corporations are using inflation. It was the guy from Dollar General, maybe that was even last week, as an excuse to raise prices.
Yeah.
But really what they're doing is they're increasing their profits because they realize that they can use that as an excuse and people will accept higher prices as a result. And all they're doing is bumping up their profit.
Mm.
So P&G, supplier of home personal care products, reported 24.7% profit margin for the third quarter, 14.3 billion in net earnings. In April, they announced major price increases for its line of products. Rather than give a price break to consumers, they decided to reward investors by giving back some 3 billion of its own by buying back 3 billion of its own stock.
Right.
Which will
Which is
further
what all the
inflate.
companies have been doing, right?
Well,
Yeah.
because they can. That further inflates the price because it
Their
reduces the
stock
number of
price.
shares that are available on the market, and it eats
Yep.
up some of the corporate profit that could potentially be shared either with shareholders or with employees, like it should be.
Yeah.
Okay. And as a result, also among the big winners were oil companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whose profits rebounded from last year's slump amidst rising petroleum prices. ExxonMobil had a net income of 6.8 billion in the third quarter of 2021, while Chevron reported adjusted 5.7 billion. They were a little bit off, but of course that's greater than expected result, and it's their best result in 8 years. Thanks, Steve. I'm sure Steve Donziger thanks you. Free Steve
Yeah.
Donziger, and 17 times greater
I'm
than
sure.
earnings a year ago.
Jesus
The
Christ.
greatest polluters on the planet, and look at what's happened.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Remember they were putting lead in our air for years.
Right now, on top of that, you've got the UAW, which imposed a rotten contract, falling far short of workers' demands, shutting down the strike by 10,000 year workers. UAW was paying only $250 a week strike pay. They used threats and lies to get it ratified. They falsely claimed the company didn't have the money to provide adequate wage increases, including the restoration of decades of concessions.
Yep.
Except,
Essentially, they gave them the. Go ahead.
here's the thing. This was despite the fact that the company reported net income of $6 billion for the fiscal year ending October 31st. So how do they not have the money? More than double the previous year's total of 2.8 billion. And that's not 6.8 billion of
right.
I don't know if that's profit. I mean, it says net income.
Yeah.
But I believe income is basically
previous
profit
year's total.
after.
Well, it's like if it's 2.8 billion, right? They made 6. You're talking about 3 billion profit on top of what they made last year, right? So therefore, they should have at least another billion and a half that they should be able to just give to their worker. You
At
know,
least they
like
should be able to
yeah,
pass on, and not to their CEO. And that's part of the problem. Also, is the discrepancy from CEO pay, of course, to the average worker salary. Okay. So also we're looking at Kellogg, which is threatening to hire permanent scabs to replace. Now, I believe they actually are in the process of settling that. And again, they're trying to jam through a 2-tier wage system still. Okay, management has refused to meet workers' demands for the elimination of the hated multi-tier wage structure that leaves 30% of the workforce at a transitional level, as well as the 7-day and 16-hour work schedule. That's always great. 84-hour work week. Or that's actually more than that. But it's not. They're not 16 hours a day, 7 days on, but it's either up to 16-hour work days, or they can work for an entire week. In which case, 1 or 2 of those days is a 16-hour day. I believe they are 84-hour work shift, which is just crazy, right? So again, the bumper profits for U.S. corporations amid the worst health catastrophe in 100 years is due to the policies of a criminal ruling class that at every point has prioritized profits over human lives. Right? There's no level of death that'll make the government change course because policy is entirely subordinated to the profit interest of the wealthy. Now, I will say that this article then gets very alarmist and talks a lot about COVID and our response to COVID, and WSWS has been I don't want to use the word alarmist, but they have been the most conservative in what we should be doing, and they want to be the most aggressive in elimination of the disease, or of the virus. They think that it can be eradicated, and they are pushing very hard for that. And I know that there are others that say that it is going to be endemic, and including the former disease, Joe Biden disease minister. Again, I'm going to drop the link to this WSWS article in chat. You'll have it in the description afterwards. But this was again, it just grossed me out. Thanks so much to World Social website for that. But it's important to understand that corporate profits are just continuing, and they're rolling on, and they're actually bigger than ever. So anyone who's saying that corporations are struggling in any way, shape, or form because of this economy or whatever, it's just not true. At least not large corporations. Now, small businesses are definitely getting squeezed, no question.
Yep.
But these big businesses are making bigger profits than ever before, and it's really a problem.
Yeah.
Because it's killing the whole distribution. Now, this next story is a wild, holy crap. And again, I did not see anybody talking about this now. Everybody's been flying for a long time, right? We've all gone on, most of us have gone on an airplane. I travel for business pretty often, and I see flight attendants and they all wear uniforms. But can you imagine if your uniform was actually poisoning you?
Oh,
That's what's going on at Southwest Airlines with.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, like really? Wow. I told you,
I mean,
is a crazy story.
It wasn't that long ago they had to switch the uniforms because it was all like way too like sexualized and like right?
Yeah, like you want to talk about a toxic workforce? Literally, this is a toxic uniform that is poisoning.
They like weighed women, right? Like because
in mid-November, WSWS was contacted by Tanya Osborne, a Southwest Airlines flight attendant from Orlando for over 20 years, she was left on the brink of poverty after suffering a series of health complications brought on by uniforms that her company had forced her to wear. Of course, forced her is kind of a I don't know what the word is. That's the job, and so
Yes, but that's the word I would use in that sense.
right. So here's
Like,
the deal. So
yeah,
they said in 2017 they introduced a 75-piece uniform, according to the new look is in stark contrast to what you had talked about,
75-piece uniform. What?
right?
Wait, you got to put on 75 pieces of clothes. Hold on, let me get my snowsuit on.
Is
Like,
it
what?
is that like the flair for
Oh
Office
God, what
Space?
is that movie? Office Space.
You
Yeah,
only have 14 pieces of flair.
Flair. Yeah.
So
Uh,
again, the article mentions that Cintas has contracted with United for new uniforms, and that other major domestic carriers were redesigning their outfits. However, shortly afterward, flight attendants across the company began reporting severe health complications associated with uniforms. What? What? Right?
mm, yeah. Well, and it's
So,
like asbestos, apparently, right? So
right? No, yeah. So the situation, no, it's some kind of chemical in there, and they'll get to exactly what the chemical is. But in addition to Cintas, at least two other uniform manufacturers, Land's End and Twin Hill, have been implicated in this. And in 2019, flight attendants who spoke to WSWS, reported an awful fishy chemical smell in their uniforms. Even after several washes, the chemical scented clothes produced massive skin irritation and other painful reactions. Crazy, right?
yeah.
So, according to Osborne, chemical treatment in her clothing was so severe that even brushing up next to a colleague at work would trigger a reaction,
Mm.
right? So, she's been diagnosed with several autoimmune disorders, including inflammatory
Atrophy.
polyarthropathy,
Yep.
a form of
Yep. You had it.
arthritis, right? I'm not going to go into all the
Ankylosing
stuff that she has, but you can.
Oh yeah, these are all super
Yeah,
Latin.
psoriatic arthritis. Like it's rough. This is
Yeah.
really, really bad. Other colleagues she was in touch with reported skin rashes, hair loss, Hashimoto's disease. I don't even know what that is. That sounds awful.
Jesus,
Right.
that
Oh, a
sounds
condition
terrible.
attacking the thyroid that can alter the human body's hormone production and can lead to
Yeah.
fatigue and rapid weight gain. I wonder if that's like what our friend Joe has, that hypothyroidism. I wonder if that's part of
Yeah.
it.
Well, it's
Right.
part of it, right? Like,
So she initiated a
initiated a
class
class
action
action.
lawsuit. So she
Yep.
actually tried to sue them, right? So
Yep.
then it alleges that since the introduction of uniforms in 2017, they immediately began suffering these problems, including all these different symptoms.
Hashimoto's a thyroid disease, apparently.
Yes.
Yep.
So one of the again, this is a much longer article. I will again drop it in the chat, but it's whatever's cheap, of course. An industrial hygienist who works for the Association of Flight Attendants, who told the Philadelphia Inquirer that did a lot of work on breaking this story initially.
Well, you know
About
who could
President.
help on class action lawsuits?
Uh,
Especially when it comes with women is they're called boobs, Ed.
oh,
Um.
sure.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I saw a tweet from her recently, Erin Brockovich, for anyone that doesn't.
Yeah, that would be it.
Um, so
It took me a second to remember what it was in my own head. So
right, but present U.S. policy for chemical use in clothing, is that whatever's cheap. Okay, this woman, Irina Mordakovich of Harvard's T.S. Chan School of Public Health, has stated that the use of chemicals in clothing in the United States is very unregulated and unresearched. That's scary.
Well, the thing that I'm wondering, right, is like if Southwest is having their issues because of the
Wait.
right,
Ah.
you're like,
Wait.
oh yes, it's almost
We're
like I
we're,
could
we're gonna get
reason
there.
to.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
get
get there.
there.
Okay,
So
I'm along for
meanwhile,
this ride.
the
Seatbelt
unions.
in, tray in upright position. Um,
Yeah, the unions, first of all, have also abandoned any public mention of this ongoing uniform crisis. Their last reference to toxic uniforms on the AFA's website, it all appeared more than 2 years ago, 4 months before the
yeah,
first lockdown in the U.S., according to the site's search function, right? Ah,
Yep.
so wait, there was like it was Delta and United, and there was a bunch of other
Yeah.
airlines that were
Yeah.
involved in something, and here it is. Okay,
Yeah. Delta,
so
Alaska,
American,
Americans,
Alaska, and
UTAS,
Delta. That's what
Lands
it was.
End, and Twin Hall have been implicated.
Twin Hill. Yep. 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 So that is a frightening, horrifying story that is not getting any light and should be. That Southwest Airlines and others are providing some kind of toxic chemicals in the uniform that are being required by their
Somehow, did it say what those
staff.
chemicals were, or did I just miss that?
I
Like,
don't know. I think it's in the article. If I'm looking at the
mm,
article, skin rashes, arthritis. Okay, her dermatologist submitted a letter to Southwest that warned them about the outfits. Transport Workers Union. I'm trying to skim the rest of the article now, but I don't
yeah,
see it.
just in case it said it.
But here, let's drop
What
it
are
in the
cotton-based
chat.
alternatives? Yeah, let's
Whoever our
just do
Russian
that.
friend is, this is Russia.
This is Russia.
All right.
Stratusia.
Wow, it's already 12:47. So I know you've been ripping that thing already, but
Yeah, I've been doing it up.
the
I just repacked it with some black tuna.
next
So
one
we'll see how that goes.
is another really long one that has a ton of different research in it. Um, it's an ode and a tribute to one of the guys, one of my the guys I
Ooh,
look up
Richie,
to, and Richie Medhurst, man, he killed it with this one. And this is an
good old
exclusive.
Dick Medhurst.
All right, yeah, Big Dick Medhurst, as Pasta likes to call him, but classified documents invalidate the U.S.'s appeal against Assange, talking about David Mendoza. And who is
Mm,
David Mendoza? Well, he goes into an entire story, and he apparently interviewed David Mendoza. This is available at Richard's Substack at richardmedhurst.substack.com. Okay,
we'll
so
put it in the
who is
chat when we're
David
done with the
Mendoza?
article.
Yeah, we'll drop that in chat
Yep.
here for everyone to go and give him a follow, a subscribe there. This is pretty amazing piece. This was at the end of last week, but that David Mendoza Herarte was extradited from Spain to the U.S. on condition that he be allowed to serve his sentence in Spain.
Mm.
Okay, but then classified documents revealed the diplomatic assurances given, and
By
how
embassies
they
in Germany.
violated those. Okay, and then he spent 6 years in the U.S. trying to return to Spain. And
Mm.
court documents show how they denied his transfer application multiple times, and that while in prison, he sued the U.S. and Spain for failing to uphold the conditions of his extradition and for violating his human rights, and that his case was recently even taken up by the United Nations. Pretty wild story,
Gotcha. Yep.
right? And that his case was raised last month in the English High Court, okay, where the U.S. is attempting to extradite Julian Assange to the U.S. Free Julian Assange. We should be dropping that case, and this is every reason why we should be. Another reason why we should be dropping the case is because
Yeah.
that we offered a similar diplomatic assurance that Assange could serve a sentence in Australia once he serves
Mm.
trial over here, but that they can change venue, they can move things around, they can drag their feet, they can do all kinds of crazy stuff to him, to keep him here, even if they assure that he might be able to serve at some point and be in prison in Australia if he's found guilty, which he shouldn't be at all. But anyway, James Lewis, the head U.S. prosecutor, QC James Lewis, said that these assurances are bulletproof, except that Richard Medhurst has shown this to be untrue with court documents, diplomatic assurances that directly contradict his statement. So this is great work by Richard to blow the lid off this again and just further reason. So again, a couple of highlights from David Mendoza after he spoke to him. Okay, he was born and raised in the U.S. His mother was from Spain. He'd go there every summer, and he described it as his second home, and he's both an American and Spanish national. He was wanted by the U.S. for drug trafficking in the early 2000s. I'm reading from the rest of the article here that he used helicopters. It's similar to like Blow to transport marijuana, currently commonly known as BC bud. I don't know. You might be a little young for that. I definitely had some BC bud.
I remember.
Canadian BC bud across the border into Seattle. It certainly made its way all the way across the country to New York. BC kind definitely made its way around. And today, of course, marijuana is legal in Seattle. So he worked in building property development, made good money. He said he only did this on the side to help subsidize some of his building projects, right? The first thing that happened was they tried to seize all of his U.S. property. And again, this is a really, really long article, and Richard gets exclusive paperwork, signed documents, FOIA requests, stuff from the Spanish National Court rulings, exclusive stuff. This is great work from Richard. I almost wanted to share the article that, but Mendoza said that if he hadn't handed over the building, that they wouldn't oppose his transfer request. So he has to put it in writing. He was told no, right? And essentially they wanted to get his stuff back. And at this point, they'd already seized 14 million of his assets and properties, even though most of it had no relation to narcotics. He said only 2 million was spent on that. And then he was also then sentenced to 14 years in prison. But instead of being sent to Spain, he was told to apply for a treaty transfer. And he applied, and the U.S. said no. Wait, what? It was done in a treaty already. Okay, and he applied 3 times for a treaty transfer. This is a crazy story, right? And this is what they're probably going to try to do if they ever get Assange to the U.S. shores. And this is what the case that Richard is making here, and that he's documenting. It's pretty remarkable. Okay, that the U.S. continues to deny this guy to leave, and he said that's when I realized I'm in the wrong court. I'm going to get nothing here. So he sued Spain instead, and it actually worked. So he won both of his lawsuits, and then it was about Spain pressuring the United States and having somebody high enough in Spain exerting enough pressure. Okay, they were ordered to hand over diplomatic communications with the U.S., which had previously refused to give Mendoza. They revealed that Spain had only asked the Americans to send Mendoza back 2 times, which was disappointing. In total, he spent 6 years and 9 months in the U.S. prison system, each day in violation of this U.S.-Spain extradition treaty that had been signed and the conditions imposed by the Spanish National Court. I mean, it's beyond an injustice. So once he was in Spain, he didn't get out until 2019. All right. Now, the thing is that the whole idea of why he was going to serve in Spain to begin with is because he could, the Spanish prison system allows you to spend time with your family. It allows for conjugal visits. He had a newborn at the time. He had an autistic child. And
also some of the best rolling papers in the world, but
he lost that, of course, over time. And he said like his kids call him David now. They didn't even call him Dad. And it's really sad. So it says that, this case is incredible on its own merits. Nevertheless, it must be examined in the context of Assange's extradition, and that when James Lewis told High Court judges that the United States have never broken diplomatic assurance ever, that this is simply untrue. So Mendoza's experience shows that for Assange, any diplomatic assurances or agreements must be written in explicit language and signed by all parties, including him, so that in the eventuality of noncompliance, he may be afforded the opportunity to contest this in court, despite his status as a non-signatory of the U.S.-UK extradition treaty. That's one of the things that the U.S. courts kept saying was, well, if you didn't sign the treaty, then you have no standing and you have no claim to it. So you can't claim, make anybody enforce it, even if it includes your story, which is crazy. But it offers the court extraordinary insight into the inner workings of American diplomacy, legal proceedings, and extradition to the U.S. It is a serious warning which high court justices should heed, and I'm hoping they do, who at their discretion have the power to prevent gross miscarriages of justice which gravely imperil the respondent before they arise. And Mendoza says that he's a nobody, and if they're capable of doing this to him, imagine what they can do to Julian.
Yeah.
Again,
So
it is a tremendous article.
what's been happening? Do you know what's been happening in the trial recently? Right,
Well,
like what's going on there?
They had a hearing back at the end of October that was 2 or 3 days long. It was 2 days long, and that was the appeal. And we are now waiting for the appeal result from the High Court in the UK.
Gotcha.
And in the meantime, he continues to rot in Belmarsh and be given inadequate blankets. And
is it still over the allegation of sexual assault from him, or is it?
no, this is over the Iraq War log specifically.
Okay.
Still,
Okay.
this is not
So
about
it's espionage
2016
claim, or
This is using the Espionage Act for a
Gotcha.
journalist. Daniel Ellsberg had testified originally on his behalf in this extradition trial that had happened last September, which the judge Baritzer had ruled back in January that the U.S. prison system was inhumane, which we all thought that meant that he was going to be released, but that the U.S. Had the right to appeal, and the Biden administration did announce that they were going to appeal. Merrick Garland is pursuing that. Merrick Garland should be dropping these charges because of all the things that have come out this year, the persecution that happened, the Isikoff article about what happened in the Spanish with the Spanish embassy, and UC Global, which we already knew about 2020 thanks to Max Blumenthal and that David Morales case. There is the Ziggy Thordarson revelations that he actually lied under oath to get a plea deal. There are so many different things that reasons why he should be set free at this point. Enough is enough, and that's me.
Yeah.
So by all means, Richard, great article. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you as always. And again, everybody go and subscribe. RichardMedhurst.substack.com. He has photos of original documents, and he goes in a whole lot deeper than we just went into this article. Again, I could have spent a half hour, 45 minutes. I think he goes through this thing in over an hour on his own channel. But I did want to call some attention to it because I didn't really see anybody else besides him talking about what happened here. I'm guessing that guys at Slow News Day, if I know Steve, I'm sure he'll say, we covered that 2 years ago.
Yes, he did.
Love you, Steve. Love you, bro.
Scuba Steve.
Scuba Steve. Wow, this article is so long. Holy crap. All right. So we've got one more article that I did these clips for, and then we can actually go to reading the last 2 articles. But this one was from Sludge. And this one is a good story and a happy story. And we don't get too many of these, so I wanted to focus on something that's uplifting. And it does, of course, come from the Brennan Center, which we know is not exactly the most left-wing organization. However, this talks about New York City's match funding for local city council candidates and how they had provided an up to 8-to-1 matching, and how it was successful in allowing more women of color and women candidates and people of color in general to be elected to city council office than ever before. And as you can see, that's what David Moore over at Sludge said in his headline, subheading. So, new report from the Nonpartisan Policy Institute Brennan Center for Justice, which has studied New York City election campaign finance laws for over a decade, finds the share of women for the People's City Council will surpass the 52% of the city's population made up by women and people of color on the council will nearly match their share of 68% of city residents. Hey, how about that? Adequate, like real representation? That's pretty unbelievable,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yep.
city council candidates who participated in the program have donations from city residents up to the first $175 in a contribution match at an 8-to-1 ratio, meaning that a $175 check qualify for $1,400 funding. And
Funding.
that's helping to level the playing field for city council. They also agree to observe
Okay.
individual contribution limits of $1,000 maximum in city council
Okay.
races, right? And spending limits that this year were 190,000 in each of the primary and general elections. Big fan of spending limit for sure.
So what are those? Explain to the kids at home what those spending limits would do, right? Like,
They would cap how
you
much
know,
a campaign could feasibly spend, at least the campaign itself. Now, that doesn't
okay,
speak for any dark money or
dark
super
money
PAC,
or PAC money or yeah, okay,
but this is
just what
specifically
the
what kind
actual
of
campaign itself could
contribution.
spend.
Yeah, exactly, in order
Okay.
to be eligible for the 8-to-1 matching on.
So is that in each of the primaries? So you get that for the primary and general, apparently.
Yes.
Okay. Why 190,000 seems an arbitrary,
These
you
are
know.
city council races. I mean, they're not
Yeah.
federal office,
Yeah,
number one.
just bump it up to 2. You
Well,
know, it's like 9.99.
there's
This
some
is
kind of
it's
a
$10.
I'm guessing that there's some kind of a calculation or
Yeah,
formula that they're using here.
sure.
And to everyone on
Like
Twitter, I'm sorry that the stream and the images is not a little clearer, but it looks like it's a little blurry.
weird.
But the public financing system again. This is Jumani Williams, who's a public advocate. He actually, I remember in 2018, he ran against Nomiki Konst, who was running for New York City public advocate, of all people.
Namiki Kunst, cool.
But the public financing system allows folks to listen to the mass of people because it spreads out who has the ability to touch elected officials. Yeah, you can speak to people who give $5 and $10, and that's all they can afford.
Right.
I would hope that if you're running for public advocate, you'd be doing that anyway and trying to represent them even more than the people who can cut dollar check because they're good already. They don't necessarily
Yep.
need your influence much, guy. Um,
Hmm.
so reminding people that the successful 2018 ballot initiative to strengthen that matching was based on legislation introduced in 2016 by Ben Kallos, who sought to boost the matching ratio for small donations of 175 or less and slash the maximum allowable contribution for participating candidates to encourage small donors. And I think that that's great. And Ron is a big advocate for local government as well. Ah!
Yep.
All right. So that is those. And we have a couple of other articles. I have no idea what to go.
Oh no, it's
Okay,
your
yay! It's the Substack. Good, but you know what I did do, and I bet if I go to the Substack, it's gonna work. Hey, embedding's allowed. Nice, so we can actually watch it on here. Cool. You know, you can watch it on the Substack, leftist.today. We have an
in case you want
article
to
up
watch it
right now
again.
for that, in case you want to watch that or share the replay with anybody later on. We also have it shared on indienews.network. So we have 2 more articles to cover. One of which is, oh God, I've actually got coworkers and friends who live in Michigan and
Mm,
Oxford High School. This
okay.
is the one. This is the one I
Oh,
I told you I might have a hard time getting through this.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, well, luckily I've not heard much of this story yet, so
it's
you know,
so they charge the
I'll get
parents.
you through the bullet point. Okay, yeah, I heard something about that, right? You know, but I've
Um,
heard nothing of why or whatever. I've kind of isolated myself from that story somehow.
yeah, I haven't really been plugged into it much, but I do know that
Yeah.
on Friday that schools were closed in most of Oakland County due to another threat. and parents are freaking out, and they don't know what to do about this
And
situation
this is
right now.
from Common Dreams, right?
Yeah, so this is Brett Wilkins over at Common Dreams, who's just gun control failures. And again, we believe in Second Amendment and the right to bear arms and own a weapon responsibly. But we need to be enforcing the laws that we have. I know that we're not already doing that. I don't know if new legislation is necessarily um, required, but enforcing the ones that we have and then passing more extensive background checks, criminal national database, et cetera, et cetera. I think that there are some things
Right.
that we could potentially do. But according to the Detroit Free Press, a 15-year-old sophomore at Oxford High School in suburban Detroit, armed with a semi-automatic handgun, shot 3 students, dead, wounded at least 8 others at the school on Tuesday.
Mm.
He was subsequently, um, and again, you can see Rashida Tlaib, and there,
Yeah. Well, so he
you
just
see
he just brought a pistol, semi-automatic handgun.
semi-automatic handgun. And then as it
Okay.
turns out, I think that he had gone shooting with parents, and he had expressed
Yeah.
that he was depressed and had some issues, and they yeah. And then this tweet
Mm.
just haunts me, um about another parent from the school, how utterly
Yeah.
desolate our country seems to be when we continue to let these horrific tragedies occur. And, you know, I've got 3 young kids. They're not high school age, but I drop them off
Um,
every day at school. In the back of my mind, unfortunately, I have to think about, is this the last time I'm going to see my kid? I
have
can't
you
even.
have you seen have you seen that there's now you can buy bulletproof children's backpacks?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's fucking like what? Anyway.
But okay, schools should be sanctuaries of safety for children. Yeah, we don't have to live this way and join the fight to end violence. Again, I don't know how much effect that's going to
Well,
necessarily have.
and again, we have another mental health problem here, right? Like, no outlet to care, no one being able to be aware of that problem. Like, you know what I mean? There's so many missteps in that line of leading up to whatever this would be, right?
Yeah, Abdul El
So,
Said, who was at the March for Medicare for All back in July, and again, how much would Medicare for All possibly help? But that 15-year-old shooter may have picked up a weapon, but Congress may as well have handed to him. I again don't know if I
yeah.
agree with that, but I understand the sentiment.
Well,
Just
so they arrested the family for allowing the kid to have access, essentially, or what?
yeah, I believe so because he was underage, did not have was not obviously
Okay.
allowed to carry it into school, and he wasn't registered to own a gun, and I believe that it was parent's firearm, but I don't know all the story. All we got from
Well,
elected
and
officials after 43 school shooting.
in the
And
chat, Darlene wants to say that mental health issues exist in other countries, but their kids don't get guns and go shoot up the schools. Yeah, because they also have ways of actively dealing with that mental health problem in other countries where
oh,
we have guns.
they
Where they
also
have
don't
guns.
have access to guns
Right.
necessarily. But
Right.
Switzerland and
Yeah. There's
Sweden
plenty
and
of places that
Canada,
do.
and there are plenty of
Yeah.
countries where there are sensible gun laws and where citizens do have regular access to
Right.
guns, but
Well, it's
not
also
like
there's
here.
there's not many ways of like our country is doing anything to try to lessen the amount of depression in this country either, like at all. You know. So
Our old friend Nina Turner. Why do we let the filibuster stand in the way of gun legislation? I don't know. Again, I don't know.
yeah,
Filibuster
exactly.
is necessarily standing in the way of that, but um, God, just again, I had to text my friend and coworker and be like, please tell me this wasn't kids' school. No, but
Yeah.
we know people in that school district who were in that school. It's beyond frightening. She texted me some of the screenshots of what the kids are sending back and forth, and you know, as a parent, how do you deal with something like this? This is not in the manual. They didn't prepare any of us as parents to deal with stuff like this, and we're all kind of just trying to figure it all out, winging it. And look, everybody's got rights, but what about our kids' rights to live and to be safe and not get killed by some
Yeah.
crazy kid's bullet? I mean,
Well,
I
and you know, guns don't solve anyone's problems most of the time. So, you know, like it's such a frustrating. Like the I wish that someone would have, you know, talked to this kid before this. You
well,
know,
and
so
apparently there were like big cries for help that were either
help
ignored or
as
missed.
always. Yeah.
Huge cries
Yep.
for help, literally like help me. I believe were one of his messages like the day before.
Yeah.
Um, and then they gave him access to a weapon, allowed him to destroy families and lives, futures.
Yep.
Press. No, sorry, but
I
again,
know.
I didn't see too many people covering this Oakland, the Oakland County story, and I thought it was really important. Because, again, it just showcases what goes on every day and too often in our country, and it hit a little close to home for me because
Only
it did
well,
affect a
I
coworker.
end up having to. It's like we end up having to recommend things like bulletproof backpack because we know things aren't going to change any other way. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you just have to take the practical choice of, you know, like I'm just sure that's why a lot of people are homeschooling now, right?
That went up pretty damn big during COVID, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So I got one more story, and it is an Indie News Network story from our friend the dissident, and I would definitely give him a follow. Leftist underscore news 12 at on Twitter, and so he takes us through a long, again, another long article about what was Russiagate really about, and I would again definitely highly recommend that. But he breaks it down that it was broken down into smearing Assange. Okay, of course, that was part of the plan. Right. In fact, the CIA could not find a connection between WikiLeaks and Russia. Also calls into question the claim that Russia was WikiLeaks' source for the DNC email story. So this claim was first made by a company called CrowdStrike, but Sean Henry admitted that they had no evidence of the claim. There it is.
Yeah.
So other claims in mainstream media made about Assange's connections to Russia were even more absurd, such as a now debunked article in The Guardian about Paul
Luke
Manafort.
Harding. Yep.
Yeah, right. We knew about that. And that this was
Yep.
intentional propaganda technique to paint Assange in bad light in order to manufacture consent for the 2019 arrest for reporting on U.S. war crimes in
Mm.
Iraq. Again, pro-war propaganda that also gave you
Russiagate.
the ability to saber rattle, to arms race. Okay, the Rachel Maddow segment where she claimed Trump not listening to John Bolton on Venezuela meant that he was being controlled by Putin.
Poutine.
Putin, right? Um, then you've even got Hillary Clinton calling Tulsi Gabbard and Jill Stein Russian agents with no evidence. FBI claiming Bernie was being helped by Russia with no evidence. This has been an ongoing thing, right?
Yeah.
So now proven fact that the West trained members of the neo-Nazi Azov battalion in Ukraine was accused of repeating Kremlin talking points. Boy.
What?
I'll get a little
Oh,
closer.
sorry. You can hear
I'm cutting
typing.
out. No, I can. I'm
Yeah.
cutting out according to Darlene.
Yeah. I don't know if it's. We'll figure it out.
I think it was just that last
But
story. I might have been a little low in the
too
voice,
far.
but no, it was a little rough, a little hard to get through. But
It's like
Rushgate also
I don't hear the
used
difference on my end. So
continue war through now debunk talking points. So again, it gives you the ability to increase censorship.
Yeah.
Wow, this looks really choppy on my Twitter stream.
Was that the sound? The sound of coffee sipping. Is that what that was?
No, I didn't. I
Person
did not sip
interference.
coffee. Right, but again,
No.
increased censorship. Talking about Telesur and Venezuela analysis to be censored, and Ben Nimmo and marking certain Nicaraguan people as dissidents that were that weren't. Ukrainian American pianist was a Russian troll, and then of course New York Post article that's now verified on the Hunter Biden emails was censored because of baseless claims that was Russian disinformation. So again, all of these different lies that were told by corporate media and by so again, Washington Post also promoted a shadowy firm called Prop or Not, which accused some of the biggest independent media outlets such as Counterpunch and Black Agenda Report of being Russian propaganda, which also is untrue and led to many of those outlets being deranked in the Google algorithm just when they needed them to. All right, it was used to smear Julian Assange, push for more war, push for more online censorship. The left needs to be wary of propaganda campaigns that are targeted towards the left, or it will lead to many to parrot the establishment's propaganda, just as Russiagate did. And I think that we've already been seeing some of
just
this.
as McCarthy was able to do, right? Like, and I'm wondering when our "Have you no decency, sir" moment will be. So
I'm
we'll
hoping
see.
soon. The other thing I wanted to also remind people: independentleft.news. I did not do any curating of it tonight, but every other day it's published twice a day, about 8:45 Eastern and Pacific. You can see that there's some Fred Hampton Jr. stuff in there from Unicorn Riot.
Yep.
I believe that there's an anniversary today. Barbados becomes a republic. That was another story that we covered this week. That they became the first country since 1992 to leave the UK throne. So that's pretty decent statement.
Yep.
Right. And again, there are dozens, and I tell it to search for up to 100 articles per issue, and that's in the last episode of How Do We Miss That? Actually, that was from episode 12. I'll put a link to episode
12.
14 in here.
We're at 14.
We're at 14. I missed
do a
I missed the
13?
link that we did a 13 last week. But again, you see how many articles there are. There's a ton. Definition of anti-vaxxer. Love it. Thanks to
Can
our
we just
friend.
change 13 to like 12 and a half? So we don't have a 13, like one of those businesses that doesn't have a 13th floor.
So look at this. They changed the definition of anti-vaxxer. Now, if you are against vaccination laws,
vaccine mandate. Oh, good. I didn't know that I'm anti-vax until now. Thanks, Webster.
But
fucking.
What do you? Oh, and they also changed the definition of vaccination and what a vaccine is to include what COVID, the COVID experimental drug.
The COVID vaccine. Yeah.
Yep, that's just. Yep. Thanks a lot, and I think it was it Blue Moon Red Wine we were talking to earlier today about just this. She said, "Did they really change the definition?" Yes, they really changed the definition.
Yep, just in case you wanted to go look.
I also wanted to call attention. Patriot1.substack.com is the free press report. Go give them a follow. They have been following the Maxwell trial day by day and giving you all of the dirt and the recaps. And they have done a tremendous job. And I wanted to give them a shout out. It's also Maxwell Trial Tracker, I believe, on Twitter. If I go to the maybe not. That's it. They do have a Twitter Maxwell Trial Tracker. But I don't want to open up my Twitter because heaven knows what's going to happen there. What?
How do you name your plane the Lolita Express without knowing you're a piece of shit?
Well,
how do you do that?
Who said that he didn't?
Oh, it's just like, how does everyone like, oh yeah, what plane are we getting on?
He knew.
Like, yeah, everyone knew. Everyone on that plane knew.
Okay, yeah. So
I
think it's time.
It's time.
Ready?
I watch YouTube,
yes, sir.
Boats that smash into other boats.
Boats that smash into other boats, huh?
Woo! Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy marijuana, actually.
Nice.
I feel like the menorah you'd be much happier about lighting, you know? So, seeing as how it is the 8th day of Hanukkah today, right?
7th.
Pretty sure.
Tonight is the 7th
technically.
Night. Well, technically now Sunday is the 8th day.
Right? It is. Yeah. But I just thought you would find that hilarious, right? But I do have, since our segment is called Boats Smashing into Other Boats, I feel obligated to try to find at least one boat smashing segment, right?
Okay.
But
okay, that boat looks like it's gonna go out to sea.
You see all that water coming out of this would be shoreline. This is way past shoreline, right?
Yeah.
So we're definitely having a lot of water retention, right? Which usually means that water's going to come back.
That boat's going. Okay, one just went over. Ruh-roh. That's coming.
You should be running.
That's coming fast. That's going to take everything with it.
Yep.
And now we're
high ground,
down.
people.
And now we are running and upside down.
We're definitely running.
And we are wet.
There's the water.
And we are very wet.
Yeah. Definitely very wet.
And now we are underwater.
Underwater. Like it's such a like quick chaos. This is why you gotta like, okay, where's the shoreline? Oh, why is all the water leaving? Oh.
Hey, no.
Maybe like, anyway, I would have loved if there was like a tsunami siren going and those people were just still there because they wanted to save their boats. But anyway, I thought this guy was pretty cool.
That's a nice praying mantis.
Yeah, that guy's definitely praying. I like how this guy got like multiple angles of this mantis. But
I had a mantis on my grill once that I got multiple angles like that. It was like he was sitting there posing for the camera. He looked right at me.
I still feel like
what do you want?
That's the next insect like horror movie. You make those things like 8 feet tall. They're all like camouflageable, so like, but it would be like with human stuff. It'd be good,
yeah.
But I just thought you should, that those stoners out here become some real engineers.
That's a serious spin.
Nice. Yep, you just got to keep it. You just got to make it even, bro. You just got to make it even.
The only problem with that is it's burning the bud, and nobody's smoking it.
Nobody's smoking it. Well, he's got it like right behind him, probably. This had music, right? And I decided not to play it.
Thank you.
Right, but I thought because like all of this music stuff is probably whoever this guy's like music was, but just figured be safe than sorry. But this is in our stoner engineering,
nice,
right? Which is a pretty nice little subreddit there. But this is the segue of like stuff. So I just wanted to wish everyone a happy honk.
Nice.
Happy honk, everyone.
Love it. As the father of a 6-year-old, that looks exactly like all the cards that are in my house right now.
Nice. But the other celebrations aren't any better. But like, look at this. Hi, Christmas tree.
Oh,
I hope I don't give you nightmares.
That is.
I hope everyone likes me, Christmas tree. Like, what is this?
Creepy.
That's real creepy.
Like a toy soldier face.
I don't know. I wish I knew, but I don't know.
It reminds me of like iRobot.
It does. It's very uncanny valley. Yeah, like it's very
Vicky in the iRobot.
But just in case you needed other ways of celebrating Christmas.
It's a lighthouse, or it's a mushroom, right?
Sure. Yeah, that's what it is. This is apparently in Russia, which I just find a normal day in Russia is the subreddit.
NSFW, folks.
Yep, it is. Hopefully, no one's at work at 1:26 in the morning. But
put the kids with the blindfolds on.
The blindfold. It's just a snowman. It's probably just like the back of a snowman.
That's right. Oh, it's a snow woman. Actually, that's her hair.
So if everyone thinks turtles are slow, I just wanted to make sure people understood. It's very like stoners. Stoners can be fast when they want to, Like keep an eye on that guy right there. Gone. Like, yep, they're just tiny little torpedoes.
That's cool.
Whoa, dude. Whoa.
That's cool.
Awesome. Yep.
That reminds me of like Finding Nemo, where they get into the jet stream.
The jet stream. Yep. Those are my favorite characters. But we had Tara Reid earlier and her horses, and I have a feeling if she ever tries to do videos with them, it'll be very similar to this.
Everybody, I'm Stephanie Quayle. Everybody. Now is he pooping? Yeah. Okay,
now is he pooping?
Hey, I'm Stephanie Quayle, born and raised.
Oh, that is one sassy horse.
He knows take number 140. Take number 140.
That horse knows what the star of the show is. I'll tell you right now.
It's the horse. I don't know. It's not Stephanie Quayle.
Stephanie Quayle. I can tell you right now. I wonder if there's any relation to Dan Quayle. Maybe.
Don't know.
Former vice president.
It's possible. But
That's
what else
really
I got?
Funny.
I do have some dad stuff, right? And just I know your kids aren't at this age yet, but I feel like this is coming in your future, right? So this old prank, right?
Oh my god. Yeah,
kids observant.
Yeah, it was. He
was
doesn't have to ask. He felt that. He didn't have to ask.
Yep. He's like, that was fire. Yep.
Fire.
Yep.
Sorry for overmodulating everybody. Okay.
Yeah, I know, right?
Level.
So you said you wanted to go play bowling earlier, right?
Is he bowling thumbless? Look at that split. Tell me he's gonna nail that. What? Come on. This kid's a monster.
Nice.
Monster.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Dude, what is he, about 7? Funny. Wow, that's impressive. Yep. I couldn't do that.
I love that stance with the thumbless throw. Like, what is that?
That's a perfect throw right there. That's
good.
That's Pete Weber. Like, Pete Weber would be very proud. What?
Oh. Apparently, Osimo is real.
I am Osimo.
Bang!
Oh, Dad had to step away because he was laughing too hard. He did not want that to be on camera.
There you go, bud.
Yeah, he's still smiling.
You okay, bud?
I know that guy. That's my buddy. That's my buddy, Owen Moon.
Is it?
Dude,
Owen Moon?
Owen. That's totally Owen. Oh my god. I gotta send this to him.
Nice.
Wait, what is it? Bad parenting? What?
Yeah, Bad Parenting presents. Yeah. Uh,
My
but
God. Nice. Face down.
what else I
Oh,
got?
more TikTok on Reddit. Uh-oh.
Yep.
These cocamelon kids are a different
Ah,
breed.
DMCA, DMCA, DMCA. La, 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 la. Dude, that's my car. Dude, we have that car, and my kid has definitely done that. So sure. Christie's lame.
I love it's with the hard like
Oh no.
thing. But have you ever seen
Oh,
wobbly
no.
sausage? Wobbly sausage.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
No, I don't wanna. No. Wobbly sausage.
Oh man. Oh, definitely NSFW on that one. Holy moly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
It's
mark
not real,
18.
YouTube.
It doesn't matter.
That
I'm gonna
one's
have to
not
mark
real.
18 plus on this stream.
We
Holy
already
moly.
we already do, right?
Ooh, I don't know, but uh-oh.
Oh. Just the like, yep, and now I'm upset. No, I'm very upset.
Oh, that's yeah, I don't like you very much, Kitty.
All right, what do I got? Full screen. I mean, I'm sure a bunch of people had Thanksgiving stuff and a bunch of things happened, but this is who I wish was at like family reunions and stuff, you know?
Oh shit,
Wait. What?
He like fire extinguished the
Did he just
like,
run through the whole room like half naked and jump out the window?
no,
Wait,
with a
hit
fire extinguisher.
Hit that again. Can I see
Yep.
that? Wait, what? First of all, pause. Go back.
Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah, the guy in the shirtless in the back.
Why
Yeah.
is there somebody not wearing a shirt behind him?
It feels so weird because it's like it's like black tie, it's like suit and like nice shirt, and then shirtless,
like,
which is great. And then we come in. There's candles. There's a fire. Fire marshal's got to come in. This is a hazard.
Oh, and then he jumps out the window to bail out because it was fire. Oh man. Nice.
But so I figured everyone should get used to VR stuff since Suck is gonna push it on everyone.
A VR bar fight.
Oh, ouch. Like I love the just the terror run. That's what's crazy. Is like
With face meat walking. Yeah. I need to see that again. All right. I need that one again.
All right, we'll run it back, Colin. Here you go. Bing. With the thing is that she's wearing the thing, right? So that's what hits first. Right? Is the headset.
She totally
then you get
the headset.
bing. Oh yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Like
nice. Holy crap, that's great. Okay.
Oh
no, what's inside this balloon?
3, 2, 1.
Whoa.
Why does it miss that one? What is this magic, sir? Why did that one not break?
And the one behind it did.
Yeah.
Wow. That's.
I still don't understand.
Was the arrow supposed to go through all of them?
It must have been, right? Like that's what it must have been supposed to do, but like why did that one not? It's
Did it
it's
really?
just
Wow.
craziness. Well, it's
It's
like
an
it had to
illusion.
hit.
Were they rigged to explode?
Maybe, but you would think that like that might be it. That might be
What?
the move.
And what the hell? Where is that they could blow up balloons that big and wow. Okay. In a
No.
warehouse. Some kind of like airplane hangar. Okay. Next.
Okay. What could go wrong?
Might not know how to ski. One thing I do know how to do is fly.
And drink.
How far?
Not far.
Ow.
Oh, I feel bad. I regret my decisions.
That
Oh.
yeah, definitely. That will leave a mark.
You're like, how far? Not. Bow. Like,
He'll feel that in the morning.
here's another one. This is the congratulations you played yourself segment. Excuse me, I need a sir, ow.
Wow, do you know how hard you had to be walking into glass to do that?
Like,
Holy moly. And not cut your face?
not cut. Yeah, well, it's a safety glass, so like,
Yeah, but
yeah.
The Stone Cold Steve Austin music at the end. Oh, it's
Yeah.
DMCA. DMCA.
I hopefully stopped it before that. Like, can you get DMCA on 2 seconds? Probably.
I hope not.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Because that was all it took for me to know what it was.
You're just getting ready for your baseball game, right?
No.
You're putting
no.
you're putting on your gear. We're doing pitching practice, and just a little off kilter. Oh,
I knew that was coming. Why did I know that was coming?
Always put on your cuff first. That's the lesson of this story.
Oh, you know what? Even if the cup was on, that would have freaking hurt.
Yep.
And you know that the pitcher aimed that for his nuts, right?
Oh, it must have oh my god. It seemed like it was definitely
there's no question
curved over or something weird.
That was not a curveball. That was a fastball. Right at his fastball.
Straight to it. Oh, that sucked. Oh, this one has no sound, which I really wish it did.
That's not good. That's not good. Is that gonna rocket off?
And
boom! Oh my god!
Oh wait! Oh no! I'm on fire! Oh no! Oh no!
Boom goes the dynamite! Holy shnikes!
This is where we don't play with explosive, kids. Only use explosive professionals to have your fun.
I am Mike Tyson.
That's very good.
Hi, I'm Mike Tyson. Watch me beat Peter McNeely on Comcast Cablevision.
Oh goodness!
Hi, I'm Mike Tyson. Watch me fight Peter McNeely on Cock Cable. Hi, I'm Mike Tyson. Watch me beat Peter McNeely on Salmon's Cablevision.
No, Salmon's Communication.
All right. Hi, I'm Mike Tyson. Watch me beat Peter McNeely on Samsonite Cable.
No, Salmon.
Oh.
What's up, man? What's up, Caleb? How you doing, man?
What's up, man?
Oh, dude.
Hi, I'm Mike Tyson.
I'm Mike Tyson. Samsonite
Tyson,
Cable.
I love you. In case you see this, Tyson, we're big fans.
Please don't beat my ass.
Please don't.
But that's funny.
Because you're gonna end up like this person would end up. Wee. We're gonna go down the road, except that's not the road. That's not the road. Oh.
Wait. He's still in the tire.
Yep. He's gonna go all the way down the mountain.
Oh boy. I hope he's got Bear Grylls level survival skills.
I hope so, because he's gonna be rolling for a while. It looks like.
Yeah.
What's next? This one.
Oh boy.
How do I make this bigger?
Wait. How?
So that we can see.
Wait, there's somebody. Oh, of course there is, but behind the wheel.
Yep.
Okay.
Hold on. I'll get it.
Oh my goodness.
I just do this. There we go.
Oh my good. Nice.
Hi. Hi. Okay. Hi.
Hi. Call the police. Help. Help.
Hi. I'm okay. Hi.
Help. My tires
Please.
are about to blow up on fire. They're grinding on the ground. Hello.
It's
My
just
car's gonna explode.
it's just the
Help me.
way. Hi. Hi. It's to me it's like one of those
No,
I'm
I
okay.
think-
I'm okay.
No, that's definitely a call for help.
Yeah.
Can you get me out of here?
Please help. Please.
Wow.
Oh. This seems like someone's having a bad day.
Oh. That's,
someone filmed it instead of stopping the
that's
truck.
which is the Cheech and Chong one when they go to
Shut up and
Mexico
smoke. Yeah.
and they come back with the truck that's made out of weed, Sergeant Stanko, and the thing gets set on fire and the cop trailing them, and he pulls over Chong. He's like, what do you want? Like, I don't know. You pull. Oh, okay. Have a good day then.
Okay. Bye-bye.
It's great. Just
Well, I think I've only got one more.
okay,
So
what happened here?
Surprised when I started breaking away the tile behind this shower wall. Look at how much honey is packed away in here. This is a 7-foot-long beehive. The homeowners were getting tired of
beehive.
buzzing and the occasional random bee escaping the wall whenever they would use the
Oh
bathroom.
my god!
Thing was
Oh, it was in your house.
Yeah. Right behind your shower.
Oh
You got the queen in there. How much does that suck? I hope you get to keep the honey. That's what I hope you get to do. You know? Just to be like,
honey.
yeah, fuck you, bees.
My.
I watch YouTube. Boats that smash into other boats.
Boats that smash into other boats. You hit the button again?
I didn't.
Is that what happened?
I didn't hit the wipe first, but yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Now we're back to Bird and Reef.
Birded Reef. What are we at? 143.
Yeah, that's pretty good timing.
Yep.
That was fun.
Yep. Yeah, it was.
So
I think that went well.
Subscribe, like, share. We did have an INN network stream this week, so definitely check that out. We had a lot of fun. We had pretty interesting conversation. Yeah, and we all kind of got loose and silly. Then there was next Saturday, before we go live on How Did We Miss That? So I want to plug that now. Indie News Network is going to be co-hosting for Blue Moon Red Wine. She's going to be doing a student debt strike marathon. And we were debating whether to call it a summit or a marathon. Well, we've settled on marathon because student debt is a marathon in itself. And we want, and Lucy did it out of motivation. And if you watch the stream on from this week, she explains exactly what the student debt strike marathon is going to be about. And it's self-motivated. It's because she does not want to start paying for her student debt next month.
Right.
And it turns out there's a lot of people that feel the same way. So check out Indie News Network on YouTube. Also check out the Blue Moon Red Wine channel. Check out Reef's channel. Check out Extra Booyah. IndieNews.network for all the different INN channels. Oh, hey, kitty. Kitty decided to make an appearance. And thank you to everybody who is here tonight. They follow Indie Left News, of course, at IND Left News on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere on the socials, as Ron Placone likes to say, our friend Ron. Yeah. And again, thank you everybody for hanging out tonight. A lot of fun. Nicole, Darlene, Caleb, Human Love, Solidarity,
and all the new people.
Kendra, Tara, who popped in. It looks like we had a bunch of people pop in on Twitter for a little while.
And
Fanto and everybody who was here tonight. Ex bootlicker, whoever that is. It's hilarious.
Mhm.
Thank you.
It's a part of the 1A community.
Nice. Thank you. So
yeah.
and Jamie Nix also. And everybody have a wonderful night, and we will see you next Saturday night, midnight, for another episode of How Did We Miss That? Episode 15. Wow.
Remember to keep listening to what little birdies tell you, everyone. Good night.
Peace, love, and bold.